I'd say there's probably around 5,000 dogs that are in breeding and research facilities in Dane County alone. And that facility is called Ridgeland Farms. It's located just outside of the city of Mount Horeb. And even among facilities in the United States that breed dogs for research, I would say pretty confidently that Ridgeland Farms is one of the worst. My name is Aiden Culver. I'm a senior here at UW-Madison. I'm majoring in political science and philosophy. I'm doing certificates in history and public policy. I'm originally from Richland Center, Wisconsin, which is a small dairy farming community about 60 miles west of here. And I think kind of my entire upbringing has informed the work that I do now, both academically and with Dane4Dogs. So Dane4Dogs is a nonprofit organization. It was founded here in Madison about 7 years ago. It was initially just a community group, but since then it's grown into something much more collaborative. We have scientists from around Wisconsin, veterinarians. We also have a student group here on campus. My main role with Dane4Dogs is to kind of serve as a liaison between the community organization and students on campus. The main goal of Dane4Dogs is to end experimentation on dogs and cats. There's a lot of different forms that it can take. It's a very widespread problem that a lot of people don't know about. So one of the things that we try to do is spread advocacy around it. Madison, unfortunately, is one of the worst places in the country for this type of experimentation, though, and that was why it was founded here. Experimentation on animals has happened for hundreds of years for scientific purposes. It's unique in the way that experimentation can be done on companion animals today, though. And that's something that several surveys have shown is not supported by the majority of the public. It's something when you go out and talk to people on the street, like I have countless times for Dane4Dogs, and many other volunteers have, you get a pretty strong reaction from almost everyone in opposition to what's occurring. With that in mind, it surprises me that people aren't more open in opposition to what's happening right here in Madison. Certain facilities don't have to disclose the full extent of the work they do, and I think there's quite a strong incentive for them not to, given the public opposition that normally exists to these types of practices. However, Dane4Dogs does have a good idea of what's occurring inside Ridgeland Farms. In 2017, a group of activists from another organization called Direct Action Everywhere actually entered the facility and recorded footage of what was happening there. This was something, if you look back at past news reports, was widely reported on. It wasn't legal what they did. Charges were dropped later on, however. But the work they did gave us the clearest picture of what's happening on the inside. To our knowledge, the beagles there have no outdoor access. They're all restricted to a small wire cage for the majority of their life until they're either euthanized there or sold to another experimenter. And even among the minimal amount of requirements that they're legally required at Ridgeland to have for these dogs, they're oftentimes not complying with them. With that in mind, though, there are limitations, practically, of what any organization and individual can do. What we're doing with our lawyers is assembling a case with evidence, with legal arguments, that we will present at a hearing on October 23rd to a judge here in Dane County. And all of that evidence in the form of a petition would ideally allow the judge the ability to assign a special prosecutor, different from the district attorney. This special prosecutor then would investigate what Ridgeland Farms did. It would essentially be a criminal investigation.
All right, you may proceed with your first witness.
Petitioners would call Wayne Chung. Do you recognize that video?
Yes, this is video that I shot. I believe it was shot more or less immediately after I entered. And I had done a few dozen animal cruelty investigations across the nation, and in some cases the world. And I had never been, I think ever, in my life in a facility so loud. The USDA's own inspection reports that apparently whistleblower had found what the USDA described as dangerous and unsanitary conditions at Ridgeland Farms, and apparently piles of dead dogs and who were being burned, and the smell of dead dogs was kind of pervading through the neighborhood. not enough just to observe people who are hurting, you gotta try and help.